Welcome to the third installment of the Wave Symmetry series. In this video, I want to give you a very powerful Fibonacci tool, the AB equals CD pattern drawing tool. You've probably seen other people use this. You may have used it yourself. Let me show you the geometric Fibonacci way to utilize this tool, because this tool is supposed to be used to detect symmetry in market movements, expansion and contraction along the harmonic ratios. Let's look at the expansion and contraction ratios one more time. Feel free to screenshot this. If you have a 382 retracement in Fibonacci, the natural expansion ratio is 2618. If you have a 50% retracement, the natural expansion ratio is 200%. If you have a 618 retracement, the natural expansion ratio is 1618. Does this mean that you always get to that target? Does this mean you cannot surpass that target? No, it doesn't mean that at all. But again, you're looking for wave symmetry with confluences. Understanding the core concepts is very important. So just to cover one quick base, we looked at wave symmetry. We're going to do this on Bitcoin today as well with the ABCD tool. We looked at wave symmetry with just a simple trend line tool, right? We looked at the pandemic low, which I believe is the beginning of the cycle, and how this lined up beautifully. If you take your wave, measure it up to the top, we take that same wave fractal, we can go to the next significant low in 2022 and see where this gave us a top, and this gave us a beautiful top. Right here, nailed the next wave movement, symmetrical moves in the marketplace. And we can take this wave, if we get wave symmetry a third time, off of this April sell-off, the tariff sell-off. If we get wave symmetry the third time, 74.92. We can actually take this same wave fractal, copy and paste it, move it over to the top of 2022 in January, and get the exact same target as you have from the exact same wave fractal off of the tariff low. We can just draw this quick ray so you can see that right across the top. That's 74, high 7400s. I'm just calling it 7500. Okay, so this is symmetrical moves in the marketplace. Doesn't mean that third and final wave here off of this April low comes to fruition. But again, you're just looking for confluence in the marketplace to find these targets. Well, this is all well and good, right? It's a trend line method. It takes longer to do it. Let's look at some Fibonacci tools that can give us these predictions. And the main tool is your ABCD pattern. Now, I showed you this before, but a lot of people struggle with key points to apply the ABCD pattern. And you have to understand, again, the market moves in threes and fives. A typical three-wave movement, when you're looking where to start your clicks, is the market will have a low, significant low, in this case the pandemic, then you wave up, then you retrace, then you have your third wave. That's your three-wave move, or like an ABC. That is where you would start your ABCD tool. So this is the actual application of this, by the way, is AB equals CD. This came from Gartley's book, Profits in the Stock Market, I believe 1938, when he notices symmetrical moves in the marketplace when they occur and how they can be predictable. So you click A, bottom of pandemic, B is the top of 2022, C is the retracement, 2022, and D, look at this. We have a basically round this up in your head, and I'll show you how to check it with Fibonacci. 496, very close to a 50% retracement. And then look at this, 200% expansion, just like the ratio I showed you. This is a perfect ABCD. This is your target range. You have a 50% retracement and then a 200% expansion. And what this is saying, if this is confusing to you, you have your primary wave up. The retracement wave is where this number comes from. This is saying this wave retraced 50% of the primary wave up. So it's ABC, okay? This retraced 50% of your primary wave up. And it's the same to the upside here. This wave, BCD, expanded 200%. So you have this wave down here, this was a 200% expansion. Remember the void fractal we talked about in the last lesson? You're measuring that expansion. How can you check this? Well, we can take a Fibonacci ratio here, Fibonacci tool, and we can pull this down, click B, Pull it down to C. Look at your 200%, lined up perfectly. You can see that right here on BCD, expanding of the void. Just like you can check the low as well. You can take your fib retracement tool, click A, pull it up to B. There's your 50% ratio. You see that? Right on point C. So again, when you have these numbers, it's great if it lands perfectly at 50%, and it'd be great if it landed perfectly at 200%, but as you can see, it was 496 and 204 when you actually click the candle. So is there a faster way to check for accurate wave symmetry on an ABCD tool? And there is. Go to the trend-based fib extension. Trend-based fib extension, all you have to do is outline the first part of your AB equals CD. Click A, second click is on B, third click is on C. And the only fib you care about here, the only marker you care about here is the 100%. This is a 100%, meaning a doubling, right? That's what that means. It's the reciprocal. It's giving you the reciprocal, 50%, 200% expansion, 100% on the trend-based fib lands you perfectly at 6136. So you don't have to sit there and check all your measurements. The big time saver on an AB equals CD pattern tool is that instead of sitting there and doing what I just showed you, measuring the 50%, clicking on A, clicking on B and saying, oh yeah, that's 50%, and then clicking on B, going down to C, and then saying, oh yeah, that's 200%. You get it instantly just by using the tool, right? You get to see what that ratio is, and you get to see what that ratio is. So that's a symmetrical move in the marketplace. Now, this played out, as you can see, right? Played out. So let's look at something else. If we look at this and we want to see, well, could this be the top right here, right? Could that be the top? And you can see here when you start playing with this, pretty close to a 2618, but it's overshot of a 2618. So I would look at this and erase it, knowing that we had this ABCD target this perfectly and hit it, right? And you got a large 20% retracement because we're on a weekly time frame, larger patterns, more powerful. What about the next movement? Could this be a symmetrical move, right? You have a significant low in 2022, you have your wave up, and then you have a retracement. Could this help you predict the next level here in the marketplace? Let's use the AB equals CD. Significant low, 2022. Go up to your high before the 20% drop. That's your B. And remember, we measured these in a prior wave symmetry video that you got the exact same retracement, 50%. So 50%, what's your expansion ratio? 2. So without even using fibs, stick this up somewhere around 200%, right? We're going to measure it. 200% takes you to 7,500. Imagine that. We've been over this in the previous wave series modules. Make sure to go back in the wave symmetry modules and review them. But look at this. So let's check it once more. You already know this, but if you were going to check it and you wanted to see this 50% represented, you can click A with a fib retracement tool, pull it up to B. 50% at C, right on the dot, right? And we know, again, to check BCD, that expansion ratio of the void, then you want to pull a fib from B down to D. And you can see the 1618's right there at 7,000, but what you're looking at is the expansion ratio of 50% is 200, 7501. So perfect. Now, the shortcut, this is the fastest way because once again, this was not perfect. This is 0.501, right? 0.501, not 50%. Very slightly over. So we want to check this. So the fastest way to check it is your trend-based fib. Click A for your first click, B on your second click, and C on your third click. You're mimicking these first two waves, your primary wave up and the retracement, and you're getting a projection. And all you care about there is the 100% fib. Look what that lines up at, 7496. So the actual number of the wave symmetry here would be 7496 for the expansion. You're at 7,000. Can we do it? Remember, there's no guarantee. Could be topping here. In the earlier modules, we talked about the patterns that exist at this level. They are strong at 7,000 and also strong at 7,500. All part of being a trader is just looking at these different options. So this is your AB equals CD tool. Now, if we want to look at Bitcoin, because you're tired of looking at the S&P, and maybe you want to see a downside pattern, let's look at Bitcoin. How does price move in a down wave? The opposite of an up wave. So down wave, price moves in threes. You get an initial primary wave down, you get a retracement, and then you can get the next level down, right? This is your ABC to the downside. So that is your down wave move. So what do you have here on Bitcoin? All-time high, 126, 20% retracement, move back up, and then you get this down move. Could you have caught this with the AB equals CD tool? Well, let's click the all-time high. Let's click that initial down move, October 10th, crypto liquidation day, and click the next move. You can see that retracement there at C on that rebound. Look at that, 591, very close to 618. So 591, we're just going to draw this before we measure it, right around 200%, right? Somewhere around here, just on the bottom of a wick. And then we're going to check it. Remember, the fastest way to check this, of course, is with the trend-based fib. You want to find the symmetry of this move. Your A, B. This is your C leg, but you want to get your A-B symmetry to see what that expansion is. And we just use a fib extension. Click A, click B, go up to C. And if it bothers you having these additional fibs on here, you can obviously just take them off, because the only one you care about is the 100% for wave symmetry. So you have that 591. This is telling you your symmetrical move, which was close to a 618, would have been perfectly at 92,542, which actually was 1.688. That would have been the symmetrical move. And as you can see on Bitcoin, you fell deeper. You got a buy candle there, but then it capitulated. And remember, the more volatile asset, the more likely you are to see strong moves that surpass the range. So when you look at this actual range, you had almost a 618 on your ABC. And then if you actually measure this to the bottom of the wick, right? If you actually measure this to the bottom of the wick where Bitcoin went, this almost went to a 2618 expansion, right? So a 618 should have gone to the 1618, and it almost went to a 2618, again, because emotions, fear, and greed drive the market. Remember, these are the quickest ways to check these levels. I hope you guys find this video useful. AB equals CD, very powerful pattern tool. Can save you some time from doing Fibonacci measurements, especially when you think things look symmetrical. And of course, always trade with confluence. What's your RSI? What are your indicators doing? What is the market doing? Anything geopolitical going on? And that's how we start to form our biases and set up our trades.